Thank you for tuning into our podcast, Canal Days, What Life Was Like in the Industrial Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining us today is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Como. He personally offers and leads public and private tours, as well as presentations of historical sites throughout the state of Massachusetts. The communities he has chosen to focus on this year are Holyoke, Chicopee, South Hadley, and East Hampton, and also Granby and Amherst as well. His tours spotlight the local canals, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks, streets, and selected historical houses within each community. Today's episode will be discussing the Harriet Tubman Park, located in Springfield, Massachusetts. So, where in Springfield is this park located?
Okay, it's located on Hickory Street. It's a small park, so keep that in mind. And we're going to talk about its features, what's inside the park, how well it's taken care of. And it's part of the Legacy Trail in Springfield. That's a series of 6 parks that are hooked together by a sidewalk walking trail that's 2.3 miles long. And we'll talk about all 6 of the parks at the end to finish off.
And is the park well taken care of?
Yes. So when I walked in, there was the typical playground set on the very top of it. Then in the back is just a walking area, so it drops down quite a bit in elevation, maybe 20 to 30 feet. And then in the back is a set of trees. It's not an arboretum, but it's having a lot of trees being put in, and that's a good sign. So it has a beautiful sign up top, and the children with their parents can use the play set at the very top of the hill, and adults can walk around the very back, and it's well taken care of. I'm glad it's part of the Legacy Trail because it's Harriet Tubman, of course, is the abolitionist that helped free the slaves, and to have her as part of the Legacy Trail is great because it includes important people from the history of Springfield 100 years ago, such as the Bill family, and then it includes people from the modern era who help keep the park system going within Springfield.
And really quick, before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, if you want to sign up for any of his various tours or check out more information, you can find that on his website, holyokecanaltour.org. And there you can also find videos and podcasts of the stops on each of his tours, as well as photos and text of the historical sites throughout as well. And for other inquiries or to set up a private tour, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And his tours make for fun educational outdoor activities for families and group parties. So, back to our interview. What features are inside of the park?
Okay, so you have that playground set for the younger children, and it's really extensive. It's right on the roadside, but it's fenced in so families can bring their kids. And there's a few park benches, and then as you sweep down towards the back, it has more features, walking area. I told you about the trees that make it nice. It's a small park compared to the others on the Legacy Trail, which are mostly medium-sized parks. And so keep that in mind. It's hard to call a neighborhood park because there's hardly any homes around, but it's a good park that if you travel down this way, you can bring your kids for an hour activity.
And Tubman Park is part of the Legacy Trail, like you said, in the city. So, what are the other parks that connect to the trail?
Okay, I'm going to tell you about them. And keep in mind, you can walk part of this trail and head back, or you can do the whole thing, 2.3 miles, which might take you about 45 minutes of walking. And it's a sidewalk trail. It's an urban trail. Now let's go around it in a clockwise direction. Harriet Tubman Trail down Hickory Street. You go to Ruth Elizabeth Park, which is a very large park, the largest of the set of 6. Then you come to the Garrish Park, which is the smallest of the 6. Then you go to the Barrows Park, the Donna Blake Park, the Samuel Bolden Park, and then the largest gap between the parks of the 6 in the Legacy Trail you head back to the Harriet Tubman, and then you're back where you started. Now, so I'll tell you a little bit about where each one of them is. I told you the Harriet Tubman is on Hickory, but the Ruth Elizabeth Park, named after a member of the Bill family, is at the corner of Hickory and Hancock Street. It's a very, very large park. There's shortcuts along the way too if you want to cut through one edge of it. And then the Garish Park is at the Six Corners area, the corners of Hancock Street and Walnut Street. And on Walnut Street, keep going, and you come to Burroughs Park. And then you take a sharp right onto Pendleton Avenue, and Pendleton Avenue is the scene of two different churches right at the top of the street. But after Burroughs Park, also on Pendleton Avenue, only about a third of a mile away, is the Donna Blake Park. And then you get on to Eastern Avenue and King Street. And on King Street, you're going to find the Samuel Bolden Park. And then walk back along Wilbraham Avenue, and you come back to this Tubman Park. And again, they're great. I've walked portions of each of the trail out of these parks. I still haven't walked the whole park, but someday I will do that. Thank you.
And thank you, Robert, for educating us on your tours and historical topics of your expertise. And we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And you can check out a large selection of our other podcasts on this website, as well as on SoundCloud.com. And be sure to stay up to date with new videos and podcasts posted daily. And thank you for joining us, and hope you tune in again.